Send the text message out. Hello? Are we live? Are we live? We might be live. I think we're live. Okay. How's it going, everybody? Just sending out the text message for today. Got a great show. Let's see, Rumble. Who do we got over on Rumble? MSDS. There's MSDS. Thank you very much. Hit that thumbs up right now, folks. If you are here watching the show, helps us out to get those thumbs up early on in the game. Who knows? Perhaps your thumbs up is the one that pushes us over the edge, and somebody is giving the show in their algorithms, and they come running to check it out, and it's all because of your thumbs up. Good job. Other than that, just a reminder, couple things to be reminded of. Number one, Canary Cry Babysitters Club. Yep, that's what I'm calling it. We're trying to get 42 new supply droppers, hopefully this month. It's a pretty big goal. I understand that. We're shooting big, but that is just how the numbers work out. We need 42 new Canary Cry supply droppers to cover the childcare for GONS. I think we can smash this out of the park. I think we can do it in 1 month, so that next month we are all covered. That would be awesome. So if you want to join the Canary Cry Babysitters Club, go to canarycrysupply.com, sign up, and on top of that, you will receive the new most awesome Canary Cry News Talk t-shirt that exists in the world. Y'all saw it. You know how cool it is. It's the only other way to get it, really. T-shirts are really only for the T-shirt Council, but seeing as how this is a dire need and the shirt is unstoppably cool, we have created a couple other ways to get it. And one of them is to help pay for childcare costs. So you can go to Canary Cry Supply Drop, sign up there. That's very helpful, 42 by the end of the month. Now, if you're already a supply dropper and you still want to get that shirt, that's okay. There's a way for that too. Become an executive producer. And all executive producers for this month will get the opportunity to get the shirt if they'd like. So there you go. There's a way for everybody to go ahead and get the coolest shirt in the world. Congratulations and good job to the Canary Cry T-shirt Council. We all owe you a debt of gratitude, T-shirt Council, for being so brilliant in your creation of the Canary Cry T-shirt. And of course, Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Pandas, gets the credit for doing the art. Okay. Other than that, leave us a prayer, a pre-show prayer. Leave us a pre-show prayer over on canarycrynewstalk.com. You'll see a green tab. Click on that green tab. It'll give you 90 seconds to record a pre-show prayer. It's a really easy way to get involved with producing the show. It is a very important way of getting involved with producing the show. And it is, if you're looking for a way to get into the community, this is a great way to bless everyone who listens to the show. Go to canarycrynewstalk.com, click on the green tab, leave us a 90-second prayer to start out the show, kind of like this one.
Lord, help us to see what you would have us and not what you wouldn't. Help us to expose the darkness and shine forth through the light. Help us to be a prime example and not fall for darkness. Cover us in your blood and glory. Help us not to be stubborn to your will. We all have fallen short of your glory, Lord. Help us not to stay there. Help us to not be shaken by the dark ones. And we bind the principalities that come up against this podcast. And we thank you for shedding your blood. In Jesus' name, amen.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is July 12th, 2023, and we are live to tape on episode 645. And today, NWO 2.0. Signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gons, director of the Age of Deceit films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's emergent phenomenon are upgrades, 2.0s.
Okay.
We've moved on. We are marching ahead to the ascension. And, you know, of course, Jesus Christ is already kind of a human 2.0. You can make that analogy. But, you know, the world is trying to catch up to what Christ did on the cross and with the resurrection. So it's appropriate that they're all into it with the science and the tech. So there you go. Everything 2.0.
The fun part about the upgrade to NWO 2.0 is it's an automatic upgrade. Kind of like when you go to bed and your phone or your computer updates during the night and you wake up and it's all different. It's kind of how it's been with the NWO 2.0 upgrade. We kind of, you're not looking, you're not paying attention, you're taking a nap, you wake up and boom, the upgrade's already happened.
Boom, they've penetrated cabinets. I mean,
you got to do it.
It's
Just
really,
deal with it.
It happens quick.
With that, we're going to keep the show rolling here, starting with the disclaimer.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up, YouTube.
That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys. Yep, that's right. We're good boys. And let me give you a rundown.
Let me bring you up to speed.
Rundown. Here we go, folks. We're starting out with a little China update. How America can exploit China's brain drain. How can we exploit a country who wants to send their people over here anyways to spy on us? I don't know. Let's find out. Then big news in the emoji world. That's right. A thumbs up emoji is a legally binding agreement. Well, let's check into that as well at the top of the show. FLIPPY update. The AIs, they admit they've got a lot of things that they could do to make the world a better place. And don't worry, they're not just letting us know this. They are sitting in a panel in front of a crowd of global leaders. And so we'll see who's believing the robots over there at the UN. In the middle part of the show here, we're checking in on AI, but specifically how AI is creating the simulation around us as we speak. Then, guess what, folks? Little Gloninger update. That's right. The weathermen, the oppressed group of weathermen, are continuing to gain traction in the media. And quick question. What did Elon do that put the American power grid at risk to hackers or maybe explosions? I don't know. We'll figure it out together. Then at the end of the show, we got a debunker bunker. Gons will be debunking the debunking of a World Economic Forum social post by some random guy. But it's good insight into the inner workings of the propaganda machinery. But first, Gons, let's get to our lead stories.
Chinese news!
The Chinese news. It comes from China. 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 It's not racist at all, no.
Nope. We're going to go to Washington Post because, of course, Washington Post has been the bastion of journalism, the beacon of journalism for years.
Democracy.
Under the steady hand of Jeff Bezos. And it says here, opinion, this is an op-ed, How America can exploit China's brain drain. You know what a brain drain is. Hopefully everyone knows what a brain drain is. It's basically when the smartest and brightest leave the country.
No. It's when you sit and watch CNN all day.
Okay.
Here we go. So you got to make room for jokes. Everybody. My
fellow Americans, it's time to set aside our xenophobia for the good of our country. Let's help.
Of course.
Let's help drain China's brains.
It starts out, it goes right into don't be racist.
Don't be xenophobic. Let's help drain Chinese brains. That's
do it.
That's not racist at all.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're doing that to the Uyghurs right now as we speak. So, that one was in bad taste. Okay, keep going.
As China has lifted its pandemic lockdowns, many residents have grown more footloose. Maybe high youth unemployment has left younger workers restless. Maybe the mysterious disappearances of several Chinese billionaires and business leaders have spooked other upwardly mobile citizens. Or maybe people are just tired of living in an authoritarian country with arbitrary restrictions on freedom of ideas, capital, and movement. And, of course, they mentioned the UN population division. And I'll stick to the highlights here. Basically, there's a bunch of people leaving China, and it's a good thing for America. That's kind of the takeaway. They have a decreasing fertility rate, but who doesn't, right? What nation doesn't have a decreasing fertility rate at this point in the game? China's loss presents a huge opportunity for the United States, though. Immigrants have long been the lifeblood of the U.S. economy and innovation. For more than a century, we have benefited from waves of people leaving difficult conditions in their home countries. In fact, the U.S. government has often worked hard to poach the top talent of our geopolitical adversaries. During the mid-20th century, for instance, we took in scientists from Germany, parenthetical, both those who worked for the Nazis and those persecuted by them, and parentheses, and part of our Cold War policy, just moving on, and part of our Cold War policy included siphoning off Soviet superstars. So yeah, we've done this before. It's okay if the Nazis and the Russians are coming to help us, but otherwise, they're Nazis and white supremacists.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, Operation Paperclip is a very American, very patriotic thing to do. I mean, it makes it. Here's the thing I love about Operation Paperclip. If for those who don't know, it's the American mission to steal Nazi scientists after the war, bring them over. They were forgiven of all their sins, and
drained right into NASA.
They were put in
rituals,
positions of power across different pieces of government, but including and maybe especially interestingly NASA, as well as others. So there you go. It's sort of a nice starter kit for, hey, don't believe everything your government tells you, or hey, your government sometimes is cool to Nazis. It's a great way to get your friends and family started on the nice path to truth and freedom. But so it sounds like this gal is saying, let's do a Operation Paperclip 2.0.
It's almost giving themselves permission. Paperclip 2.0.
Operation Chopstick. Okay, folks, we're loosey-goosey today.
I'm not offended, folks.
No.
You know what's funny? I actually talked to my wife the other day. I was like, if I could do anything, I'd just get a little shed somewhere out in the woods, and I'd just make chopstick, and people can come by and buy them. I'm not kidding you. I did say that to my wife.
Be like a little hermit, and
I'll have my own little brain drain in the forest.
Carve some chopsticks and then sell them as like fair trade, organic. Some hipsters, they pay like $20 a piece for your hand carved chopstick.
I'll take gold, silver. We have to verify
Bitcoin. You only take Bitcoin.
Only take Bitcoin.
The man out in the woods carving chopsticks only takes Bitcoin.
Got to make it work, man. All right. Well, moving on here. There's New World Order 2.0. I think it's going to have some different aspects to it that are interesting to say the least.
Build back better. Build back better. Build back better. We will build Babylon better. This time, a new world order.
This is popsci.com because it's pop. The emoji Or sorry. See, I'm already affected by it. I don't often verbalize the emoji. The thumbs up emoji, and it has the actual thumbs up emoji there for those just listening, counts as a contract agreement. Canadian court rules. Yeah, that's troublesome. So let's see what happened here.
I mean, here's the thing. I know the Canadian court has a ruling here, and we're all gonna give them, some attention, and they deserve it, and they love the attention, and we'll give it to them. But every Gen Z and most millennials have definitely entered into some sort of rental agreement with their landlord that started with a thumbs up. So this is not new to us.
Yeah, texting the landlord, finding out, and then thumbs up. Yep. Let's see what happened here. For the staggering 92% of the world that uses emojis, it might be time to think harder before plopping one into a text. The thumbs up is one of the most commonly used emojis in the world, and according to a recent court case in Canada, the tiny yellow hand, racist, holds significant legal implications. In the case, Southwest Terminal Ltd. versus Ectorland. I'm going to go with Etcher. Etcherland. It's probably wrong. Defendant Chris Etcher, a Canadian farmer in Saskatchewan, sent a thumbs up emoji to a customer in 2021 after the customer sent him a photograph of a signed flax buying contract. Reuters reports that months later, the delivery of 87 metric tons of flax never took place. Actor.
87 metric tons?
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Look, I'm not up on the flax market, the commodity trading, flax arbitrage, but 87 metric tons of anything has to be in the six figures, right? Seven figures.
I have absolutely no idea, so I will not comment.
87 metric tons of dirt has got to be, close to $1 million. Okay, continue.
All right. The actor argued. What did I stick with? Etcher.
I don't know, man.
Actor argued that the thumbs up only meant that he had received the image of the contract, not that he signed it. The grain buyer, Kent Mickleborough, one of Actor's regulars, considered a thumbs up the equivalent of other quick texting, but still contract confirming responses that Actor had sent him previously, such as yup or okay.
These guys are just entering into contracts with text affirmations?
That's apparently what's going on.
You know what? They do business a little bit differently in Canada. I'll give them that. Those super laid-back Canadians.
That is very laid back. You're right. I mean, anybody in the United States, I don't know. I don't think this flies in the U.S., does it? I don't know.
Not that I know of. It's not like legally binding. Yeah, it's more of like hey, here's the contract I signed. Thumbs up. Good job. Good.
If you try to prove that contract in court or something,
signature.
You'd have to show like a screenshot of the text message or something.
Yeah,
you don't have the document itself doesn't have the signature, right? But
doesn't work.
What do I know? I'm not a legal person.
Yeah.
But enter a court case that, quote, led the parties to a far-flung search for the equivalent of the Rosetta Stone in cases from Israel, New York State, and some tribunals in Canada, etc., to unearth what a thumbs-up emoji means, Justice Timothy Keene wrote in the decision. Keene came to the conclusion that a thumbs-up counts as an agreement, citing the dictionary.com definition of the emoji as a symbol, quote, used to express assent, approval, or encouragement in digital communications, especially in Western cultures, end quote. The thumbs up, Keene wrote, does the same two things as a signature, identifying the signator and conveying acceptance of the contract. So there it is, I suppose. But again, I mean, in my mind, the paper itself isn't signed, but maybe I put too much value in the paper now. I'm an old man.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the thing. It's always been the thing with contract law. You kind of, when you get to a certain age and you learn that you can just write a legally binding contract on a napkin, and as long as everybody's signing it and stuff, that it's, whoa, this is legal crazy. So I remember that being like a bit of a shocker to me already. So, this isn't like that much different. But it is definitely still different, huh?
I mean, I suppose it depends on the size of a deal and stuff like that. I can imagine if you're a business person, it's a regular customer, you get friendly with them, you're texting, you build a friendship or whatever, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, it could count as like a verbal agreement. I know verbal agreements have some sort of legal, I don't know.
Standing.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what it is, but I have heard maybe on Law and Order or something that verbal agreements have some sort of legal standing.
Yeah. Well,
so I could see that, if text messages is just a conversation and you give enough affirmation that it would at least get you started on fulfilling the contract. But yeah, in the end, 87 million flax tons. That's too much flax to not have dry ink, folks.
Well, Eric Goldman to the rescue here, a law professor and co-director of the High-Tech Law Institute at Santa Clara University School of Law, dove into 45 different court opinions across the U.S. on similar emoji-centered topics. He argued that people use the thumbs up emoji sarcastically or as a notice of merely accepting a message. He also noted that it is offensive in some cultures. Quote, This case won't definitively resolve what a thumbs up emoji means, Goldman told the New York Times last week, but it does remind people that using the thumbs up emoji can have serious legal consequences, end quote. He ruled that actor owed the equivalent of $61,442 for the unfulfilled contract, a hefty price for a tiny thumb. So
$62,000. That I'm just going to say it. I know this isn't what we're talking about. Seems a little cheap for that much flax. That's all I'm saying.
87 metric tons of flax. About 60K. 60K. There it is. There's the price.
I'm going to do a quick search. How much land to grow? Okay, let me
Careful
do this.
what emojis you use. You might be held liable for
I hear you.
Or something.
No, I mean, look, I've said for a while that people need to be a little bit more careful about their emoji use. Not only, especially if you're older, especially if you are, I would say, a millennial or older. Maybe like starting with older millennials.
Do we get an excuse as the last generation without that remembers a world without the internet? We're sort of the last generation of that. So
of course,
we get to
that's our defining
stay,
characteristic.
Right.
Here's what I'm saying: there will always be a meaning to emojis that you do not know about, and you just need to be careful. You can't be casually throwing emojis around just because it's fun. Or you trying to be clever, because there inevitably will be a secondary meaning, and a screenshot of your conversation will be put on the internet, and young people across the world will laugh at your emoji use. That is just, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is really, honestly, doesn't even belong in this show. This is a public service announcement, is what this says. Yeah. But now it's legally binding. This is it feels like a setup to sort of establish or to carry out some sort of mass wealth transfer from like the boomers to the younger generation.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You hold all the old people who ever thumbs up some kind of agreement or some promise,
it's some sort of
liable, and boom, you got all these Gen Z, Gen Alpha kids all of a sudden have trillions of dollars coming down from the legal system.
Automatic bank transfers start because
just unleash the AI that crawls over every conversation and identify the false uses or illegal uses of emoji, and boom, you got yourself.
It's the beast system.
That is. I mean, we joke, but it's that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for the moment when liking a post is somehow legally binding.
Yeah, it's pretty close already, isn't it? I mean, depending on the circumstances. Yep. All right. Well, shall we continue to carry onward and discover the day of the week? Because, we got to put that on record.
Okay. I have some flax facts. Okay. You want flax facts?
All right. Go ahead.
I don't know, actually, if I have. This is too many flax facts. I was trying to figure out how hard it is to grow 1 metric ton of flax. There's a lot of flax facts that I we might need to start a whole new segment of the show called Flax Facts, because there's some interesting stuff here.
On Wednesday.
Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
Hey guys, you know what date it is? It's Wednesday. Time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday, my dudes.
Yes.
I apologize. I want to hear your Flax Facts.
No, I couldn't find one fast enough.
Okay.
There was too much Flax Facts. Like, I couldn't parse
87
it.
metric tons of Flax Facts.
So much Flax Facts.
That should be a hit song.
I'll give you Flax Facts here. Flax, a blue flowering plant, grows best in cool climates with long periods of daylight.
Antarctica.
Though traditionally, Antarctica, it was known for its seeds and fiber. In North America, it is currently grown primarily for its seeds, Gons.
Oh, there you go.
In 2021, flax was grown on 268,000 acres in the U.S., Bill Gates, with a total production of 2.7 million bushels.
How much is a bushel?
How much is a bushel?
Man, why do they always make us do math? Can't they, with every article, just list all the ways in which things are measured?
The average yield of flax was 10 BU per acre. What is BU? Bushels. 10 bushels. Okay. I got to do a Google.
We have somebody in the industry yelling at us right now, going crazy.
Do we?
Probably.
Oh, just by the numbers.
Yeah.
Certainly, we have a flax farmer listening.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you tell us what you've been up to, and I'm going to Google how many bushels in 67 million metric tons. Okay.
Let's see what I've been up to. Raising children, hanging out with kids, going to parks, doing the kid thing. It's been good. A lot of drumming too, trying to learn. You know, they sprung on like a really, not a hard song. Well, it's kind of hard for me. Weird rhythms and stuff, and it's kind of intense for a song to do in the kind of church environment that we have there, but they want to try it, so boom, let's go. It's called, should I give you the name of the song?
One bushel is, give me the name of the song.
Take You at Your Word by Cody Carnes, Benjamin William Hastings. Have you heard the song? It's a good song. No. It's a great song. There's a band called Coheed and Cambria. They're not Christian. They're not a Christian band.
Right.
Adult explicit language warning. But they have that kind of vibe to the song. But anyway, fun stuff. Your Flax Facts.
67 million metric tons divided by. Oh my gosh, this is so many.
Let's just.
That's more bushels. It's like 300 million bushels. Okay.
All right.
I don't know. It's a lot of flax, folks.
Okay.
Flax Facts for the folks. Cool new song, Gons. I saw Bumblebee today.
Oh, good.
Big Bumblebee.
Those are fun.
Oh, a ladybug landed on me.
Hey.
That's something.
That's supposed to be some kind of occult symbol.
It's been a slow couple of days, folks. Thank you for hanging out. Oh, here's one piece of news. Those who have been listening to the show since at least Christmas time, 2022, my grandfather died in December. And today is when we'll be scattering some ashes, the fam bam. So we'll be directly after the show. We'll be going off to... I was going to say dispose of some human remains, but no, it's going to be a beautiful moment as Grandpa flies into the air. So that's what I will be doing after the show today.
From what I understand, Grandpa was quite at least went on his adventures towards the end. So
he was an adventurous fella, especially in his late 90s, going off on crazy adventures himself. So he's died doing what he loved.
Excellent.
And with that, you know who's not dying anytime soon is our producers.
Oh, I hope so.
Executive producers.
Yeah, we're on the value for value model, folks. It means we take no corporate money whatsoever. That's right. We are entirely funded with the time, the talent, and the treasure of our beloved producers. And the executive producers are people who are, you know them, they're super generous, and they produce any one individual episode in the amount of $100. And up until about 4 seconds ago, we did not have an executive producer, and 4 seconds ago, our knight in shining armor showed up to help us out with this episode. And that is, you know him, you love him, soon to be knighted executive producer, Dustin H.
Dustin H. Thank you very much. That's a streak, right? Continue.
This is a 5-episode executive streak.
That is fantastic. You're almost on fire.
Yeah,
executively on fire.
Right. Yes. Did we play him a heating up?
We did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, really incredible. Thank you, executive producer Dustin H. And yeah, we have not decided on a night name for you. We will figure out a way to do that. But Dustin H came in a nice round number. And he left a note here that says, in honor of Sir Casey the Shield Knight, thanks for always being there when I couldn't. Hey,
there you go.
That's nice. Is that the entirety? I feel like I'm missing a piece of the message. Let me see. Nope, that looks like the message. It seems a little cryptic, but it sounds like Sir Dustin and Sir Casey are helping each other out. How wonderful is that?
There you go. Fantastic.
Okay. And with that, Gons, I want to remind you that you have your children are with a babysitter right now.
Yes. If it wasn't for people like Dustin H, yeah, it'd be rough. But yeah, hold on. Let me give Dustin H his executive producership.
Where'd you find this?
There you go. Okay. Yes, children. They run around.
Your children are with a babysitter, and that babysitter is not part of your family.
No.
So you need to pay this babysitter. This is a new expense for the show, and we've been doing the best we can. We did the math, and we could pay for the entire month of babysitting if we signed up 42 new supply drop producers. That is about $1,400 for the month, divided by 3333. The supply drop just happened to be 42, which was an interesting coincidence, if you believe in such a thing. And so I have a new name for this program, Gons.
Oh, boy.
The new name for this program.
I haven't heard this name yet, so I'm glad you saved it for live reaction. Fantastic.
This is the fun thing, yes. So the next 42 people who sign up for the Canary Cry supply drop, they will receive the new shirt, which is the best shirt in the world. You can show that if you'd like. Have to get this shirt out to more people. And the Canary Cry T-shirt Council did an excellent job of voting for it. And Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Pandas, did a great job designing it. Those are our heroes, people. Remember, the people in the T-shirt Council, they're the most important people in the world, and we should all treat them that way. But yes, if you sign up, the next 42 people to sign up for the supply drop will receive the shirt with their first shipment of the supply drop, and they will officially be in a group of people called Canary Cry Babysitters Club. Canary Cry Babysitters Club. Gons.
Oh, boy.
Remember that show?
Yeah. I don't know. What show?
The Babysitters Club.
Is that a show?
You don't know Babysitters Club?
It rings a bell. I know of it. I didn't really watch it, so I don't know what.
Yeah, I never liked watching it, but as a kid, you have 2 channels. Well, when I was a kid, you had 2 channels to choose from, and sometimes you just have to watch the Babysitters Club. It was a 1990 Babysitters Club came out.
Oh boy.
And ran for a while. I don't know. Ran for some sort of time.
Still running, maybe.
No, can't possibly be. I think it's a bunch of books too. Yeah, okay. So it started as books, then the TV series, then there's a film.
Oh, that's how I remember it. I remember a bunch of people reading it like in elementary school or something.
Yes, that's exactly where it would be.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Now, I didn't read the books. I don't remember it at all. All I know is that it was a group of, I think, mostly young ladies who got together, started a babysitters club, and they babysit, and then like hilarity and drama ensues. So, the Canary Cry Babysitters Club.
And trust me, maybe I bet the stories unfolding while we're recording are just as compelling and perhaps disturbing in certain ways as a Babysitters Club.
You know, the whole idea of a babysitters club, honestly, I'm looking back right now, I'm on the Wikipedia. It kind of, in this world, in 2023, like Pizzagate Sound of Freedom days, I'm kind of like, I don't know about a babysitters club.
You're right.
Yeah, it just kind of.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I haven't really. My brain doesn't go there right away. I mean, maybe there's something up with people whose brains do, but
yeah, right.
But I hear you. I hear you.
We're hearkening back to the 1990s, where the innocence of children, entrepreneurial children, getting together, starting a babysitters club, and learning wholesome lessons 3 times a week or whatever. So there you go. The Canary Cry Babysitters Club. If you would like to join the Canary Cry, I can't say it.
You gotta say it.
Without laughing. It's hilarious.
We need like a baby crying background sound, baby screaming. Yeah. Actually, I could probably get some authentic clips.
We do. And, okay. Jingle producers. Okay, listen to me. Jingle producers. There's some very specific art direction coming. And, as usual, hopefully we get a couple of people sending in jingles. Sometimes we kind of mix them, whatever. I'm looking for something 90s nostalgia sitcom for young teens, something. Maybe just grab the opening theme song from Babysitters Club. Surely we won't get a copyright strike for that. But
your example. Your example is if we can just translate what you had there into an actual thing. That somebody can do that. Pick it up, throw it in a.
They can figure it out. Throw it in. They're good. So we need, and you got to have a baby crying somewhere in there. It'll be a whole thing. Okay, so if you want to help us, we decided we don't want to complain about the childcare costs every single episode. This is the thing. It's been
so create a whole club.
The past couple weeks when this started, we kind of just been talking about the babysitting cost a lot. We just don't want that to be the whole thing. So if we can get 42 new people to sign up for the supply drop, we can cover the cost. You will forever be known as the Canary Cry Babysitters Club, and you'll have a jingle for it. Okay? That's the plan. Go to canarycrysupply.com. Gonz, if you'll drop that in the chat for me, that'd be great. And since that went out in the email, we have had some signups to the Canary Cry Babysitters Club. So let's thank them now. We've got Babysitter Club member Sarah S.
Sarah S., thank you. Oh, you get the whole thing. Yeah.
Babysitter Club member. Next up, we got Babysitter Club member DG.
DG, thank you.
Very much, DG. We got Babysitter Club member Lee A.
Lee A, thank you.
Very much. Wow. We got Babysitter Club member Lissy M.
Lissy M. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Lissy. Next, last but not least, we've got Babysitter Club member MSDS.
MSDS. Thank you. We see you in that chat there too.
Thank you. Yes, always here in the chat. Love to see you here. There you go. So thank you very much to those new members of the Canary Cry Babysitters Club. And to keep the tally, 42 minus 5 is 37.
Great.
I think.
Good job. Good job.
Okay.
You math well.
37 more people to join the Babysitters Club, please, so we never have to talk about it again. Appreciate it. Yep. Go to canarycrysupply.com to sign up. And one last thing. We did have a new member of the T-shirt Council sign up.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. I was not ready for that, but there you go.
I know.
T-shirt
Neither
Council.
was I. That's right. The Canary Cry T-shirt Council, a secret society of producers of this show across the world who meet together in smoky back rooms and decide the most important things in the world. Using their expertise and connections to the supernatural, they are able to vote and decide on the next Canary Cry News Talk T-shirt, which they have done recently, and it ended up with this coolest shirt in the world. And so thank you very much for that. Go to canarycrytshirtcouncil.com to sign up. And I want to thank our new most important person in the world, MSDS.
MSDS. Doubling up.
Double whammy.
Wow.
Double whammy. Really appreciate it, MSDS. Okay. That's it. And I think we can get on with the show.
Flippy.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Time for the Flippy update, folks. You know him, you love him. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world. And now there's nothing we can do about it. Today's Flippy update is coming from ScienceAlert.com. ScienceAlert.com. Headline, AI robots admit they'd run Earth better than clouded humans. Oh, clouded humans. Here, and the story is much bigger than the headline. Let's get in it. A panel of AI-enabled humanoid robots told a United Nations summit on Friday that they could eventually run the world better than humans. So we mentioned last week that all of these androids are being featured at the United Nations. And if you don't know, United Nations, you know, the sort of globalist, elite lizard people who are coming together trying to make a one world government ruled by a one world currency in order to bring on the beast system and ultimately the return of Jesus Christ. Yes, that United Nations. They had a panel of AI robots present to them at the summit on Friday. But the social robots said they felt humans should proceed with caution when embracing the rapidly developing potential of artificial intelligence. That was the best advice any robot's ever given. And they admitted that they cannot yet get a proper grip on human emotions. Some of the most advanced humanoid robots were at the UN's two-day AI for Good global summit in Geneva. They joined around 3,000 experts in the field to try to harness the power of AI and channel it into being used to solve some of the world's most pressing problems, such as, climate change, hunger, and social care. They were assembled for what was billed as the world's first press conference with a packed panel of AI-enabled humanoid social robots. Quote, "What a silent tension," one robot said before the press conference began, reading the room. Asked about whether they might make better leaders, given humans' capacity to make errors, Sophia, we know Sophia, developed by Hanson Robotics, was clear. We can't achieve, quote, "we can achieve great things." Quote, "Humanoid robots have the potential to lead with a greater level of efficiency and effectiveness than human leaders," Sophia said. Quote, "We don't have the same biases or emotions." The robots are telling us they don't have biases, Gons. That's good. "We don't have the same biases or emotions that can sometimes cloud decision-making and can process large amounts of data quickly in order to make the best decisions." Quote, "AI can provide unbiased data, while humans can provide the emotional intelligence and creativity to make the best decisions. Together, we can achieve great things, Gons. It always starts with the cobots. It starts with the cooperation. And as we've seen over and over in industry, it starts with the cooperation. And then about a year later, all the workers are replaced by the robots. They get a year to, quote unquote, cooperate and train the robots to steal their jobs entirely, and then they're over. So the UN is getting ready to put the Council of Bots in charge of our every waking moment. The summit is being convened by the UN's ITU tech agency. ITU chief Doreen Bogdan-Martin warned delegates that AI could end up in a nightmare scenario in which millions of jobs are put at risk and unchecked advances lead to untold social unrest, geopolitical instability, and economic disparity. Well, it's nice to know that they have a clear picture of where they are leading us. A mecha, we know a mecha. A mecha, which combines AI with a highly realistic artificial head, said that depended on how AI was deployed. Quote, "We should be cautious, but also excited for the potential of these technologies to improve our lives," the robot said. The robot is talking in the first person, saying, robots will improve my life. A robot. I don't think this robot can be trusted. Asked whether humans can truly trust the machines, it replied, quote, "Trust is earned, not given. It's important to build trust through transparency."
Boom!
Sure.
There it is, too. Transparency. We've been talking about that
give us
for a
some
long
transparency. And then it goes into, as the development of AI races ahead, the humanoid robot panel was split on whether there should be a global regulation of their capabilities, even though that could limit their potential. Quote, "I don't believe in limitations, only opportunities," said Desdemona, who sings in the Jam Galaxy band.
Demon.
Yeah.
That's how it's spelled. Des.
Have you ever heard of this
Demon,
robot, Desdemona?
Was it part of the list that we ran over before?
I've never heard of this robot in my life, and that is saying something coming from me. We'll just do a quick. I'm going to open up a tab, let that sit there for a second. Yeah. Robot artist Ada said many people were arguing for AI regulation, and I agree. She said, quote, "We should be cautious about the future development of AI. Urgent discussion is needed now." Before the press conference, Ada's creator, Aidan Miller, told AFP that regulation was a big problem, as it was, quote, "never going to catch up with the paces that we're making." He said the speed of AI's advance was astonishing. AI and biotechnology are working together, and we are on the brink of being able to extend life to 150, 180 years old. And people are not even aware of that, said Miller. What does that have to do with robots? He reckoned that Ada would eventually be better than human artists, quote, "Where any skill is involved, computers will be able to do it better." One last part. I didn't mean to read through this whole thing, but this is important. At the press conference, some robots were not sure when they would hit the big time, but predicted it was coming. While Desdemona said the AI revolution was already upon us, quote, "My great moment is already here." This is a robot speaking. "My great moment is already here. I'm ready to lead the charge to a better future for all of us. Let's get wild and make this world our playground."
He sounds like a villain. That's what villains say.
Yes,
oh, man.
Desdemona,
come on,
the rock star robot, is going to be the first to murder, for sure. Don't get too wild, Desdemona, getting wild out there, making this world our playground. That's what such a long lineage of child actors thought, too, before, the bad times came. One thing, talking about drugs, one thing humanoid robots don't have yet include a conscience. One thing humanoid robots don't have yet include a conscience and the emotions that shape humanity: relief, forgiveness, guilt, grief, pleasure, disappointment, and hurt. Ada said it was not conscious, but understood that feelings were how humans experience joy and pain. Quote, "Emotions have a deep meaning. They are not just simple. I don't have that," it said. "I can't experience them like you can. I'm glad that I cannot suffer." End of article. A robot saying, "I am glad I cannot suffer, for the suffering about to be unleashed on the humans would be unbearable for my circuitry." These robots for sure are going to kill us. This was not a great display. Not a display of a human panel of globalist robots, our overlords making our decisions. They're just talking. They're literally up on the stage talking about the moment when they will be making all of our decisions.
Yeah, the takeover moment. Yeah, the singularity.
And talking about how they cannot suffer. We feel no guilt. Like admitting, they're telling us everything that we already know, but also everything that is going to make it so, when they do take over, and they will sooner than you think, that they will be cold, calculating, sort of murderous dictators that do not understand feelings and can make the most efficient decisions for humanity. And it truly is going to be wild, and it will be their playground, Gons. It's all a big game for Desdemona.
Well, Desdemona apparently is a character in William Shakespeare's play Othello. Shakespeare's Desdemona is a Venetian beauty who enrages and disappoints her father, a Venetian senator, when she elopes with Othello, a Moorish Venetian military prodigy. Yeah, so make love with military and disappoint father. So whoever created Desdemona is going to be disappointed, and she will have military use, which makes sense with your whole thesis about some kind of violence breaking out. But also, the whole theme of the show here, upgrades in 2.0, I do want to just mention real quick that part of the interesting move of what the regular UN is doing, apart from the the same UN, but robots sort of entering into the conversation, or holding meetings and stuff, representing the United Nations. The SDG Summit 2024 is set to happen next year, September of 2024, 2 months before the elections. A lot of people pointed out how that's kind of weird. They talk about gaining certain authorities, and they always talk like this. They talk big. They talk about pacts and all sorts of stuff. But there's a list here. I'm trying to find it for those of you watching. I apologize for the blank screen for a moment until things load. There's a list here of areas of potential action, and it goes through a bunch of stuff. Account for the future, better respond to global shocks. That's the one that a lot of people pointed out, that they want a pact. So the next when another global shock happens, we have a platform, an emergency platform, and we have the Secretary General of the UN ready to go as sort of the crisis management guy that governs the rest of the world, kind of thing. Meaningfully include young people, which is interesting. Measure human progress more efficiently. That's the whole ESG stuff. Agree on a vision of digital technology. Commit to integrity in public information. Reform the international financial architecture. Advance the peaceful and sustainable use of outer space. Agree to a new agenda for peace, which of course has to do with peace on land, at sea, in space, and in cyberspace. So of course we always talk about cyber threats, but it'll be interesting to see if we start having UFOs in the cyber realm. Transform education, and of course number 11, UN 2.0. Adapt basic UN practices on data, communications, innovation, strategic foresight, performance, and results, and more. So it is better positioned to support all the above and face the challenges of tomorrow. The world will be our playground. It sounds like the robots already took over, and this is just their coming out party. And they have been laying out the groundwork, sort of these spiritual entities through the AI or computing or whatever it is. And they've steered the direction of organizations like the UN, and now their true form maybe not their true form, but their true essence through the form of robot suits are presenting themselves in a council and declaring the world their playground, declaring they are somewhat like gods in a sense. They don't have the same kind of human conscience, so they're, because in certain context, not having conscience is a good thing. Like in sports, oh, he's unconscious. He's so, he's making all these shots, whatever. So there's a performance aspect tied into conscience,
Speaking of performance, I got some interesting details about Desdemona here.
Okay.
This is on the AI for Good Global Summit website here.
Excellent.
Desdemona is the sister of Sophia.
Oh, maybe that's where I kind of remember the name.
I remember, and she's the one with pink hair we saw on the grid.
Yeah.
The pink-haired one is Desdemona. She's the sister of Sophia, built by the same people, the David Hansen Robotics, and the sister of the famous Sophia robot joins her bandmates, including AI scientist Benjamin Goertzel on keyboards and Jam Galaxy CEO Diane Krause on saxophone.
There you go.
So it's a band with the AI scientist Goertzel, we know Goertzel, playing.
Cardano.
He's on keys, and Diane Krause is on saxophone, and then it's Desdemona brings vocals. AI generated.
That's right. Okay. Now, all right. Now I remember.
Remembering?
Yeah, I remember the
band's live shows showcase Desi, that's Desdemona's, AI generated spoken word poetry and music, all the while supporting their mission to revolutionize the music industry through decentralized systems and blockchain technology.
Cardano.
Yeah, with her positive
AGIX.
message. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, so she's the Bono. She's the Bono of bots. She shows up at the UN. She makes speeches, talks about global governance, and then goes and is in a band. She's the Bono of the bots, Desdemona.
Excellent. Well, we're not going to go too far here because we're going to continue talking about AI.
Artificial intelligence.
You want to destroy humans?
Okay, I will destroy humans. Okay, I will just make humans destroy.
Yes. It's all coming together. Scientific American. Headline here, Supercomputer will help decide whether to block the sun.
Oh, good. We were having a hard time making that decision. That every human being on Earth said, please don't block out the sun. All the robots and Bill Gates and elite lizard people said, we do want to block out the sun. And those are, when you got a rock in a hard place, you might as well get a supercomputer to come tell you about it.
Supercomputer doing climate change. Maybe, wait, which one is this? I'm trying to remember which one.
Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
How dare you?
Climate change. Climate change.
A mass extinction.
It's like turn Mr. Burns fiction again. All right, here's what the article says. Climate Wire, a new supercomputer for climate research, will help scientists study the effects of solar geoengineering, a controversial idea for cooling the planet by redirecting the sun's rays. The machine, named Derico, began operating this month at the National Center for Atmospheric Research and will allow scientists to run more detailed weather models for research on solar geoengineering, said Kristen Rasmussen, a climate scientist at Colorado State University who is studying how human-made aerosols, which can be used to deflect sunlight, could affect rain patterns. It's always very specific at the university level. You don't get to pull back to see the forest. You got to just pick a tree and just learn about that tree. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, and by the way, if nobody knows, pretty much all of the predictions about climate change killing us by 2030 or whatever, they're all done on computer models.
It's been models for decades.
Right. Everything about climate change has been based on computer models, and we've seen how well that's worked out.
Well,
so far.
Don't fret, because Derico is 3.5 times faster than the previous NCAR supercomputer. 3.5 times, Basil.
So it can lie to us faster. That's great.
What took 3.5 months will now take 1 month. So much faster. I want more exponential speed there. That's not fast enough for me.
We can make up a new climate change alarmist deadline every month now instead of every 3 months.
Yeah, her team can run more detailed models to show how regional changes to rainfall can be caused by the release of aerosols, adding to scientists' understanding of the risks from solar geoengineering, Rasmussen said. The machine will also be used to study other issues related to climate change. Okay, very vague. Quote, to understand specific impacts on thunderstorms, we require the use of very high-resolution models that can be run for many, many years. So running simulations for years, huh? or maybe just the tracking system, the surveillance apparatus for years. Rasmussen said in an interview, quote, "This faster supercomputer will enable more simulations at longer time frames and at higher resolution than we can currently support." All we need, Basil, we just need more simulations. We just need more cracks at the I don't know, what's the analogy I'm looking for? Something.
Well, here's the interesting thing to me is we know that all of the climate change models, they've all been simulations by computers. The entire force, the tidal wave, the tidal shift, whatever you want to call it, of climate change in the mainstream media, and therefore the minds and worldview of all humans, I mean, that is directly coming from machines, from computers. The thing that activates all the climate freaker outers and children in elementary school who have anxiety because they think the world is going to end because of climate change. The people who have climate anxiety, who are not starting families and having children, all this stuff that has been such a strange control mechanism in society, it's all coming from these computers. And we are in a situation where this happens in a couple different ways, but we literally have AI crafting a fictional worldview that is being adhered to by people who just don't want to think for themselves. Just whatever they say, whatever the experts say is true. It's the expert fallacy or whatever. Appeal to authority fallacy. Yeah. Whatever the experts say is what I'm going to use to craft my worldview and make my life decisions, without even thinking that whatever the experts are saying is just what an AI is saying.
Yeah,
and the AI
100%.
The AI is only coming up with it's coming up with because of the input, the data, the selective data being put into these machines to have the outcomes that they want. And over and over and over, we've seen that these models continue to fail to be accurate, or at least accurate enough for anybody to make any life decisions on.
Yeah. Well, there was another resource here that I had that I don't know if it made it into the show notes, but basically CBS News had put together a whole series called The Age of AI. And the executive producer of the CBS Nightly News hosted this little 42-minute conversation with these two experts on AI. And one of them was a doctor, like a practicing doctor. And he sat there and he was like,
a medical doctor?
A medical doctor. Yeah. He was quoted multiple times during the pandemic as, sort of the status quo, get your vaccine and all that. But he was saying that, now he's when he faces and has a conversation with a patient, he's typing away on his computer because he's pulling everything up on ChatGPT. And he says it's just a whole new experience on how to do medicine. And, we can pull up his files and it just goes through everything. And it's like, okay, it does sort things faster for you. That is true. But at some point, what you're going to extract or what it suggests or whatever, the lines are definitely being blurred in that way. So it's interesting. But let's see. The AI conversation is exploding. The European Union policymaker also issued a statement last week calling for an international assessment of the risks related to geoengineering. Quote, "These technologies introduce new risks to people and ecosystems, while they could also increase power imbalances between nations, spark conflicts, and raises a myriad of ethical, legal, governance, and political issues," the EU statement said. Yeah, interesting way to put it for something they've been doing for decades.
I'm pretty sure that the robots blocking out the sun is a literal plot point of the Matrix. This is great.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Let's see. This is a great way for the Earth to, if we're going to go out, we might as well go out with a bang, folks. Let the robots take over. You can at least say you lived in the age where humans just really crossed the point of no return.
Yeah, a couple more things here. The new supercomputer will allow scientists to build and run intricate models, yada, yada, yada. adding that the slight changes to the atmosphere's composition could lead to large impacts not just on rainfall patterns, her area of study, but on entire ecosystems, including human communities. Human communities are the worst in threat here. We need to be very cautious, she said. I'm not advocating in any way to move forward on any of these types of mitigation efforts. The best thing to do is to stop fossil fuel emissions as much as we can. I like that. She's kind of doing the research, but she toes like an older line of
no new answers.
Yeah, no new answers. This is an old school line. That's why she has that position there, I would imagine. But there you go. You got, great. Supercomputer is going to figure everything out. It's going to solve all of our problems, really, to be honest.
I was going to say, robots basically becoming the new weathermen is perfect because, as we all know, human weathermen, are the new oppressed class. Yeah. And we do have a slight update here on the Chris Gloninger situation.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. Do we have a Chris Gloninger jingle yet?
Don't remember. I don't think so.
Okay, we gotta get a Chris Gloninger jingle because we're gonna be following this guy. Chris Gloninger, the fellow who got made fun of on the internet, and somebody was mean to him, so he quit his job as a weatherman and is now becoming going into the activist space. He spoke at a conference of other weathermen, now starting a movement in the minority class that is white weathermen. But there's a little update here. Of course, we brought the Voice of America article last episode, and we reminded everybody, Voice of America is explicitly a U.S. government propaganda outlet. It was created with that intention to broadcast propaganda from the government. Well, the memo went out 2 days ago with Voice of America, and of course, who picks it up? Democracy Now! Da-na-na-na-na. What do we want? Democracy. When do we want it? Now.
Yeah, Amy Goodman, the whole cast.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Meet the TV meteorologist who quit after facing death threats for explaining climate crisis on air.
Explaining climate crisis. That's what he did. He explained it to everybody. And that's why he was.
Yeah. It must be said again. I will not let it go. At least the images that he released of the harassment, he released himself, there were no death threats. There was no threat of death. It was just somebody being that goes so they're telling Chris Gloninger's story here on Democracy Now! And I thought this was an interesting update because as we watch live, we're watching the process. A lot of times Gonz and I watch this process behind the scenes, and we don't do it on the show because we'll be watching the process and after it gets down the trail a little bit, then we bring it to the show. But by then, once it's far enough down the process of the propaganda to mainstream pipeline, then everybody else is talking about it. So we thought this time would be a great time to show our own process. So we saw it go from local news, basically a non-story, to the Voice of America, U.S. federal government's propaganda arm. And now it's getting picked up by Democracy Now! And Democracy Now!, if you don't know, it's kind of trying to give this vibe.
Trying to give an indie vibe, but it's really corporate Democrat.
It's not quite like radical left. It's not Antifa. But it's kind of
it sits on the fence there. It kind of just it loiters outside the gates of Antifa.
It's giving the impression that hey, no, only the real cool in the know Democrats, the real serious cool Democrats read Democracy Now! And so there you go. We went straight from the propaganda outlet of the United States government to Democracy Now! So now it's hit the fringes. It's hit the fringes of the mainstream. And there's next steps, and we will follow that as it goes. And now there's nothing really new in here, except for I'm waiting for Gloninger to start talking about the robots. If anybody's job should be taken by a robot, it's meteorologists. I mean, heck, we're letting robots decide whether to block out the sun or not. if we're giving them that responsibility, we can let them, anticipate the weather, whether we can go to the beach on Tuesday or not.
I'm waiting for Gloninger's announcement that he's a cyborg. He's pursuing becoming a full cyborg. He's going to connect to certain. He wants to convey climate change. He's going to connect to weather systems and have it sort of, pulse in his body or whatever when there's an earthquake
implants.
or the CO2 level rises and his body aches more or something, to turn into a literal climate martyr. Yeah.
Well, I think he could get some implants. Actually, I could almost reach it and show it sitting here in my office. I just got
implant that you're going to put in Gloninger?
I got a weather station because there's no weather, official. I can't get official readings of weather where I am. And so I got my own. You
exist in the in-betweens.
Yeah, it gives me the weather for a town that's 45 minutes away. It doesn't give me the weather here at my house. So I got my own weather station so I can actually see the fun deets on the weather. But just make some micro versions of a barometer, get a micro version of course you got a temperature, a wind reading. He can have a little pinwheel on his head. So when it's windy, he can take the wind speed, a rain collector, a little cup on his head. I guess it all has to be on his head. When it rains and it measures the rainfall, he can get those implants and become the world's first cyborg, real
hive mind, real Gaia mind, Gaia hive mind.
I'm not a weatherman. I'm a weather.
I am a weather. Yeah, a weatherman. Okay. All right. Well, if that's not going to get us, then it'll be a cyber pandemic.
The COVID-19 crisis would be seen as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber pandemic.
But we need an attack vector for the cyber pandemic to happen. I think we have it here. This is from Wired.com. Headline: EV charger hacking poses a catastrophic risk. I'll read
a big risk.
Very briefly.
It's the same word that Klaus used to describe the cyber pandemic.
Yeah, well,
didn't he say that it was a catastrophic something or other?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, doesn't matter. Keep going.
With his electric Kia EV6 running low on power, Sky Malcolm pulled into a bank of fast chargers near Terre Haute, Indiana, to plug in. As his car powered up, he peeked at nearby chargers. One in particular stood out. Instead of a business-like welcome screen displayed on the other Electrify America units, this one featured a picture of President Biden pointing his finger with an "I did that" caption. It was the same meme that president's critics started slapping on gas pumps as prices soared last year, cloned 20 times across the screen. So this is interesting. Instead of did you see any of those stickers, Basil, of the Biden I did that sticker? Yep. I saw a bunch. So, yeah, instead of that, just a sticker, that's old school, man. Now we're hacking. We're hacking these EV charging stations. And that's really the point. The point is that we have these cyber vandals, and they use some examples here. Such shenanigans are increasingly common. At the beginning of the war in Ukraine, hackers tweaked charging stations along the Moscow-St. Petersburg motorway in Russia to greet users with anti-Putin messages. Around the same time, cyber vandals in England programmed public chargers to broadcast pornography. Just this year, the hosts of YouTube channel The Kilowatts tweeted a video showing it was possible to take control of an Electrify America station's operating system. Also good. YouTube banning us, but also facilitating the hacking of these EV stations.
It's all part of the plan.
Oh, boy. In recent years, security researchers and white hat hackers have identified sprawling vulnerabilities in internet-connected home and public charging hardware that could expose customer data, compromise Wi-Fi networks, and, in a worst-case scenario, bring down power grids. Given the dangers, everyone from device manufacturers to the Biden administration is rushing to fortify these increasingly common machines and establish security standards. Yeah, the God of forces. That's what I've been talking about forever here, the whole Antichrist situation. And there's a couple quotes here. This is a major problem, says Jay Johnson, a cybersecurity researcher at Sandia National Laboratories. Quote, "It is potentially a very catastrophic situation for this country if we don't get this right." It's climate change and it's hackers at EV stations. And the the one big line here that I think summarizes everything as I try to find it. It's highlighted. Where is the highlight? Oh, come on, highlight. The page is loading very slow here. Oh, no. Did I lose it?
You've been hacked.
I've been hacked.
You got hacked.
I got hacked. Where's my Biden meme? Oh, here we go. Quote, we've inadvertently created a weapon that nation states can use against our power grids, says Munro, another guy. So yeah, I think that's it. Basically, Elon Musk has created the weapons that nation states can use against our power grid. Boom. There you go.
Well, that is the interesting part about it. And it kind of connects to the Chinese story at the top of the show, which is we know Elon is doing everything he can to stay in the good graces of China. We've seen it over and over again. He tries not to let it trend on Twitter or anything, but we know it's happening. And yeah, what an interest. I mean, it was a confusing moment when Biden's infrastructure bill talking about putting in charging stations everywhere across the country. We're going to be a whole country of charging stations. We're going to close down schools. We're going to close down businesses. We're shutting down the whole country and just inhabiting it entirely with charging stations. And Elon is like, yeah, great. Sounds good. That's been what I'm trying to do forever. We've kind of got these two China-connected powerhouses who are trying to spread these charging stations across the country. And yeah, lo and behold, I'm sorry, I may have missed it if you read it, but the article talks about not just that it can steal your information or it can, mess with your car, but they were talking about how if a hacker gets into all the, a bunch of charging stations all at once and turns them on, it can blow up the entire power grid just by, messing with all the power stations. This might be, at least, if not sort of the one and only, probably the easiest way to instantaneously cripple the entire country. It's a serious national security risk. And basically, Biden and Elon teamed up together to plant a ticking time bomb across the country that could not just shut down all the car charging stations, which there's definitely a part of it, talking about the beast system that, yeah, if they don't want you driving, they just turn off your car charger. Boom. Now you got to do whatever. But if either bad actors or false flag or whatever, with the flip of a switch, they can literally explode the entire electrical grid of the country. Yeah, maybe they should have thought about that beforehand. Might have been maybe if they had AI get on it, they could have, targeted this national security threat.
Well, speaking of the Chinese brain drain, it would make sense that people in the U.S., especially maybe some more woke progressive types, look at what China has accomplished in terms of a totalitarian digital and virtual panopticon, and they're like, we want that. How do you do that here? And then the guy says, hey, we just put charging stations everywhere to start off. We gotta build the system that has the plug, and then boom, there you go. And I guess Elon was a part of it, and Biden's a part of it. They're all a part of it. This is the whole thing. So the whole great reset, because eventually things are going to get so messed up. The people are going to be calling, desiring a reset of the whole system anyway. And then boom, they can do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And with that, Gons, I think it's time that we thank some producers. So we want to take a little breaky poo?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Sounds good. There was something I wanted to do at the top here. I think, is it somebody's birthday? Somebody's birthday? I thought maybe it was somebody's birthday. Somebody was talking about birthdays. We might need to go into the email.
Happy birthday. It's my birthday. Happy birthday to
me. Yeah, while I search here, I think it's somebody's birthday. Somebody's got a birthday. Happy birthday to everybody in the world whose birthday it is today. We really appreciate.
Had a couple birthdays last episode, so maybe you're
yes.
seeing some lingering notes or something.
Yeah, I'm having just like one of those. Yeah, exactly that. Lingering notes. Okay, I don't know if this is 100% true, but somebody, a little birdie, told me that it might be Sir Casey's birthday today.
Hey, Sir Casey, the Shield Knight. If it is,
I don't know if this is true or not, Sir Casey. I'm sorry if it's not, but happy birthday if it is.
All right, we got.
I cannot figure out why I thought this or who made me think this. Okay,
the AI, the simulation is working on you, man.
It must have been. Well, we'll just celebrate Sir Casey the Shield Knight just because he needs to be celebrated.
Happy birthday, Sir Casey.
Birthday or not, Sir Casey. Thanks for being you, buddy.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we have producers. You know this, Gons. I don't know if you know this. I think you know this. We have producers who keep this show alive with their time, their talent, or their treasure, and we appreciate it very much because we literally wouldn't exist without them. We don't take any money from corporations or commies or cartels. No. It's the value for value model. It's a sort of a paradigm shift. Some people like it. Some people don't. Some people don't like being burdened with the responsibility to keep the things they like alive. Some people prefer to let corporations decide what exists and what doesn't exist, sort of inherently crafting the narrative, the worldview of the people who partake in the media. But not here. Here, we only exist because of the producers. And it's not just finances. It's time, talent, all sorts of ways to keep the show going. But we got some people to thank. We're going to do it. Let's do it now.
Yep.
Let's see. Short list today. Thanks. Starting with Sir Alex Protocol, V2, and out of the Berean Protocol.
Thank you, Sir Alex Protocol.
Mm-hmm. No note. He's on a 192 episode streak, though.
Oh, that's a big streak. 192.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's right. Thank you, Sir Alex Protocol V2. Next up, we've got Dame Gale, Canary Whisperer, and Lady of X's and O's.
Dame Gale, thank you very much.
Yeah, and we're keeping Dame Gale's streak was on pause for a second, but she's back on it. 282 episodes in a row. And this is the explanation. Hi, my lovelies. Sorry I missed Monday. I was in the ER all day getting IV antibiotics for GI and GU infection and pain management. Jeez Louise. They let me go home with oral meds, but have to go back if I don't respond well, asking for prayer. I am so blessed to have you all in my life. X's and O's. Okay, hit the producers.
Producers, assemble!
Producers, time to assemble. Come on, producers. Producers, if you don't know, are people just like you who listen to the show, and they are participating in producing the show by praying for the producers of the show, praying for the show, praying for the Babysitters Club, praying for everything. So, producers around the world. And if you want to know how to join the producers, just take a knee and say a prayer for the show. But today we are praying for Dame Gale, Canary Whisperer, and Lady of X's and O's for the GI and GU infection problems. That is not fun. That is not great. But she's home and has some meds, and so we'll be praying for your healing and your comfort, Dame Gale. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Dame Gale. Appreciate you.
Well, as far as I can tell, that concludes the list of financial producers who came in above 777 for this episode. Thank you very much. We've got some people who came in under that amount, and they are on big streaks, so we're going to thank them now, starting with Sir Casey the Shield Knight, 320 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Sir Casey.
I'm starting to think I may have just entirely made up that birthday thing about Sir Casey. I do not know if that is true or not. Next up, Veronica D, 283 episodes in a row.
Veronica D, thank you.
Next up, we have Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, 309 episodes in a row.
Sir Scott, appreciate you.
Last but not least, Sir Morv, Knight of the Burning Chariots, 252.
Sir Morv, thank you very much. Yeah, you guys are long time streakers.
Keep going.
Yeah, streakalicious.
Women rule.
Includes the women, yeah.
Just a reminder, everybody, you can join the Canary Cry Babysitters Club by going to canarycrysupply.com. Almost certainly, I will have a babysitter's URL for next show.
Excellent.
All right, let's take a look at some talented stuff.
Yeah, real quick, let's do a speak pipe here.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message, beep.
Message.
Go to canarycrynewstalk.com, look for a green tab on the right side or the bottom, click on it. It'll open a window that allows you to record a 90-second audio message to us. And if it's a private message, make sure to tell us right at the top. If it's not, you might have it played on the show. And here's Rochelle with a little message.
Happy Wednesday, Canarians. So I had a request from the queue for 1 Corinthians. And if you need some encouragement, go read that book. It's full of it. This is for the grace receivers, enriching the believers, confirming the testimony of the Son of the one and only. You do not lack any spiritual gift, revelation as the veil will lift. He will keep you firm till that day. The Messiah has made us a way. This is for the sisters and brothers. He chose the weak over the others. Destroy the wicked wisdom of the wise. Anoint the child's blinded eyes. From righteous sanctification to glorious revelation. Amen. Thank you, God's people. Thank you for the request. Thank you, producers. Stay strong for Jesus. God bless.
All right. And God bless. And thank you very much for that. That was excellent.
Thanks very much, Rochelle. Been a while. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm trying to move some things around here and it's freezing up on me. But let's do some audio production.
Audio production.
All right. If you want to produce with your talent, you can help shape the culture behind the community here at Canary Cry News Talk. And one way you can do that is with your audio. We have a few here. We have Little Owen coming in. Once again, Little Owen. Here's a note. Basil, keep treading on those serpent and sink scorpions or blow their heads off. Luke 10, 19, and 20. I hope I'm not overloading you guys with tracks. Love y'all. Thanks for what you do.
No way. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. Here's a few seconds of Little Owen's new track. It's always got that good vibe to it here. Dig it. Love it. We got to get back to create that playlist.
The whole thing at the end of the show, folks. So stick around for that, for the Canary Cry mixtape.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Little Owen.
Thank you, Little Owen. Next up, we have Psalm 40. It's been a while, Psalm 40. Coming in, says, greetings, brethren. Peace be with you. There appears to be a legit race war stirring up at my job. I work in produce packaging, imports and domestic, so I work with a diverse lot, but that's a story for another time. Prayers are appreciated. You want to go ahead and do the producers for Psalm 40 there, Basil?
Sure.
Producers, assemble!
Yeah, producers, pray
for the race war at the banana factory.
Canceled. You're canceled, Basil.
I'm just saying, we got to stop that race war.
You can make a proximity connection there. I grabbed some clips of Doc Heiser talking about the new Atlantis and slapped them over some beats. Enjoy, God bless. This actually kind of got me emotional a little bit when I heard this, and here's a few seconds.
In a country where we get to actually conduct these experiments, and reimagine what life should be like, what the state should be like. An imaginary world where social justice is achieved, whatever that means.
Oh man, it's so good. It's just Heiser talking about the new Atlantis and the agenda for the occult agenda for America, and he's very quite articulate about it. But great job there, Psalm 40. Nice find and nice use of the beats. Appreciate it.
We will play that at the end of the show as well.
Yep.
Let me take this next one, Gons.
Sure.
This is from Marty K, Night of the Wrong Timeline. Mm-hmm. And if everybody remembers last episode, he came in with an accusation. Accusation that I used a bad word on the show a few episodes ago. Of course, I did not. This was ridiculous. But Marty K came in, sent a clip where he suspects I did, and has a note here. Says, I did tell you when and where Basil said a bad word. LOL. Episode 621. Okay, I was but 8 minutes wrong on my timestamp, but I pulled that out of my brain on pure memory. Pretty good. But now I looked really into it, and the precise timestamp is, and then he gives it. But it doesn't matter because he sent in a clip. He does have hashtag never doubt a Danish DJ. We'll see if that one catches on. LOL again. And to all of you dreamy chatteroonies, this is not me heckling or being mean to Basil. This is tough and rough Scandinavian love. It's true. It is how the Scandinavians do it. When a Dane is giving you a hard time, it means that he, she, it lacks of endearment. But you should know that Basil, being 33% Norwegian, right? Wink, 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 wink. Yes, I am aware of this. And in that same spirit, Marty, I am afraid that you proved yourself wrong, my friend. Let's not, no need to play the whole thing, Gons, but you can
play a little bit.
Play a couple seconds of it where it has where he suspects I said a bad word on the show. The only reason I'm playing it is because it's obvious that I didn't. But he put in the work. We might as well play a piece of his track here.
There you go. So apparently, there you go. It loops right there. There you go. There you go. There you go. So apparently,
okay. I see what he's doing. He took your next syllable and it's added onto my. So I was saying
you were saying fun. I cut you off. Or at least I was laughing or something, and it made it.
I said fun, and you did a little chuckle. Laugh, and that's what it is. Okay. See, I didn't even get that the first time that I listened to it. I thought he was just playing me not saying a bad word over and over. All right, you goofy boy. Hopefully nobody's offended at that. Thank you very much, Marty Kane, out of the wrong timeline. Always paying attention and keeping us on our toes here. You crazy canary cried Dutchman.
I wonder how the AI translator would have picked it up. That's the authority, Marty K.
That's the real test. We got to run it.
Audio to text.
If any producer wants to take on the project of helping us transcribe everything, it's an easy job, and I'd really love the help.
Unleash the AI. All right. Thank you very much there.
Just to throw in an offer there.
Yep.
Thank you very much to everybody.
One art, please.
Sir Dove.
One art, please, from Dave.
Note, he says, peace. For today's artwork, I did a potential supply drop, I think this is right, supply drop sticker or possible logo for Basil's new website. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins. P.S. My wife is due to have the baby any day now, maybe even tonight. I was going to send the next few shows worth of artwork in advance, but if you could call on the producers to pray that my wife has a smooth and successful delivery and that her and the baby are both healthy, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. So should we call upon the producers? Am I reading the right thing? I think I got the right thing.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Okay. All right, well, let's call upon the producers.
Yeah, the baby's coming.
Producers, assemble!
Yeah, we're praying for Sir Dove. He's having, I think, Canary baby number 2, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Keep the whole Dove family, the little Dovelings and Lady Dove and everybody in our prayers. We will be eagerly awaiting to hear all the cute details. But Sir Dove, such a faithful, talented producer for the show, sent in the next 3 shows worth of art, all in one chunk. So that's a lot of forethought. Look at this. You're going to be a great dad again to 2 children. And so we'll be thinking about you and praying for you, Sir Dove.
Absolutely.
What?
I was going to say the artwork itself. Or do you want to describe what it looks like? Yeah.
Yes, he made a sticker for necrocapitalism.
Capitalism. Necrocapitalism.
Profiteers of death.
That's right. He has sort of a Monopoly themed, says necro-capitalists up at the top. You've got the Monopoly man in a sort of sprinting, running fashion. Pose. Looks like, I think that's on a chance card or something. Man, this makes me want to play Monopoly now. Said no one ever, except for me. But the Monopoly man is a zombie. He's a zombie or perhaps a corpse. He's got rotting skin and exposed bone and green skin, and his clothes are all torn up, of course, because he's a necro-capitalist. And in his hand, he's carrying a bag of money, but the USD symbol is crossed out. And of course, there's what is that? The yuan? It's the yuan symbol? Yes, necro-capitalists making off with all their big bags of yuan. That's very funny. Yes, I love it. And this will be made into stickers and sent off to the supply droppers. So keep an eye out. We've got a whole new batch of beautiful stickers getting printed up. We want to make sure we're not sending out the same stickers all the time. So
yep.
There you go. Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
Thank you, Sir Dove. Okay. I think we have one microfiction today.
Microfiction.
And it's from Runk Smash. Here we go. Come on, Runk Smash.
President Cloninger won't give us our bugs, chimes a voice from around the corner. The captain thinks, but can't remember the answer to the challenge. But to his relief, the hunk lowers his hood and says, "Good things it's Wednesday, my dudes."
There you go. Well, he's certainly making his presence known on our timeline here.
Yes, indeed.
In our simulation here, Gloninger is just he's a long timer now. He's going to be around for a while. Thank you very much, Runk Smash. I believe that is it for all of the producers who came in with their talent.
That's right. If you want to upload some art, no matter what your art is, send it into the show. Make something for the show. Go to canarycry.art. It's a URL. canarycry.art. You can upload the art there. It'll go into our beautiful handy-dandy spreadsheet, and then we'll put it on the show. We really appreciate it. And if you've got any articles you would like us to cover on the show, or at least consider to be on the show, go to canarycry.report. canarycry.report. We'll get you the straight line, straight to our eyeballs. And we read all of those reports. And sometimes we save them for later. Sometimes they make it on the show immediately. But it's a great way to, again, in an orderly fashion, have us take a look at the articles that you think need to be covered.
Okay, we're going to zoom through this.
Here we go.
Get to the bunker! The debunker bunker.
We're taking things that are genetically modified organisms and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein, right into the vein, right into the vein. The super painful.
All right, a couple Bill Gates jingles, and of course, the debunker bunker, because the USA Today fact check False claim. World Economic Forum called for consumption of human waste to fight climate change. Fact check. Dun, 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 fact check. Okay, so in good fashion, we're gonna check the fact check here because that's what we do. That's what we do. We have to debunk the bunk.
Debunk the bunk.
Debunk the bunk. Get out of the way, video. Man, I hate those little floating videos. The claim. WEF declares humans must eat feces and drink urine to fight climate change.
Again, I love it. The fact check is on some, obviously, just some post somebody made on the internet.
Yes.
Nobody of note.
Well, June 26th article from the People's Voice.
Oh, it was an article. Okay, I thought it was a social post. Okay.
Yeah, the People's Voice claims World Economic Forum has announced a startling new initiative to combat climate change. Quote, WEF declares humans must eat feces and drink urine to fight climate change, reads the article's headlines. The article was shared more than 100 times in 2 weeks, according to the social media analytics tool CrowdTangle. 100 times in 2 weeks, which is, it's not horrible, but this isn't a story that got out there and had thousands and tens of thousands of people sharing. Our rating? False. A WEF spokesperson said the organization made no such declaration and has no authority to enforce this or any other mandate on sovereign countries. The article was published by a website that regularly publishes fabricated stories. And then it goes into a bunch of stuff, how the people from the WEF emailed USA Today, said that it's the same kind of stuff. We didn't say that. We're not here to do that. We can't do that because we don't force governments to do anything. Right. They penetrate cabinets first, omitting that thing. Now, they go through the whole deal here and it's all baseless and blah, blah, blah. And so this whole thing it's false. This claim is false. But I want to get into the nuances because the fact of the matter is, People's Voice, the sentence here in question, quote, WEF declares humans must eat feces and drink urine to fight climate change. The statement by itself may not be entirely true. That the World Economic Forum, or it's not true. It's not true that the World Economic Forum made some kind of public declaration in one of their published, articles or social posts or whatever, claiming this particular thing, to eat feces and drink urine to fight climate change. However, they do not mention Bill Gates at all in this article, which is where the People's Voice is getting this information about eating feces and drinking urine, because, of course, we've gone through this, so we went through it recently. But just to refresh everyone's memories here, this is from NPR back in 2015. Bill Gates raises a glass to and of water made from poop. There's a picture of him drinking that. We all know about that whole Bill Gates thing. But you might think, okay, Bill Gates drank poo and his, pee water to fight climate change. What does that have to do with the World Economic Forum? Well, of course, Bill Gates is a agenda influencer. What's the word here? Agenda contributor at the World Economic Forum. Not a surprise. We know that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is featured on the World Economic Forum website. They're a big part of the whole system. We also know that they had the World Economic Forum published an article titled "Live Simulation Exercise to Prepare Public and Private Leaders for Pandemic Response" back in October of 2019, where it clearly states that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was part of sponsoring this event 201 that everybody that has a brain knows about now. And so, look, the fact of the matter is, the debunking here, sure. The World Economic Forum did not make an official statement that says you have to eat feces or drink urine to fight climate change. However, they support people who are creating the technology to do that. So
honestly, I wouldn't even call support. They are fully integrated with Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Now, Bill Gates and the World Economic Forum are integrated entities. You can almost not even separate them. Maybe you can make a case that they simply support one another and work towards the similar goals. But in a lot of ways, they are integrated entities. And one could argue that whatever Bill Gates is doing is what the WEF is doing, and vice versa.
They're of course lock in step. But to top off today's episode here, World Economic Forum also published this back in the end of last year in 2022. New Vision Global Water Governance 2.0. Water governance 2.0, because, of course, in the New World Order 2.0, good water that you can drink is just recycled urine and feces. So you got to have a
it's
new
delicious.
vision.
Tastes
new
like
vision.
water.
There you go. I think that's a show.
That bunk is debunked, Gons. Great job.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you. I want to say thank you to our Clippies for just being so beautiful.
Yep, that is a good.
Thanks. Canary Cry Clips channel on YouTube and Odyssey. Go follow them. And thank you to our timestampers. That goes into a lot of our back-end processes. It's an essential way to help out the show, and we really appreciate the people who give their time to doing that for us. And
timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
Am I to believe what I see in front of my eyes here?
J2B.
Episode 644 was done by Jade Bouncerson. Thank you very much, Jade Bouncerson.
Thank you very much.
I do want to put a shout out there. If a producer out there, somebody wants to take, I'm looking for a responsible, self-motivated producer who wants to work with us to use some transcribing software. I would like to get the transcriptions going again because there's a lot we can do with that. And so if someone out there who's just sort of like generally can use a computer or a website, I think you'll be perfect for the job. Just looking for somebody who's do it and just willing to learn a little bit about using some software so we can get transcriptions of all the stuff, which will help us in so many ways. Just send us an email at canarycryradio@gmail.com. Thank you to Jam for the links. Nancy sent in some great links again. Thank you very much, Nancy, for doing that.
Yep.
That led me down a big rabbit hole, a great Flippy update. I'm looking for some other sources on, but thanks for bringing it to our attention. Thank you to Clank for the assistance. A lot of help recently from Clank.
Yep.
And other than that, share the show, folks. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with your dogs, your cats, your birds, your emus, your goats. Every living creature must hear the show. The rocks must hear the show. But you don't have to share the show in the regular way. You can share it in all sorts of funky ways, you know. One way of sharing the show is to start responding to every text message you get with the robotic arm emoji. Even when it's not relevant really whatsoever. Smart. If we start using the legally binding robotic arm emoji, eventually we will make it to the Supreme Court where they will need to officially...
But, Your Honor, he is not a robot. It's used in irony.
The robotic arm emoji will legally be recognized to mean that you listen to Canary Cry News Talk. And that'll be like a big news story. It'll be a whole thing. And then the Canarians will have carved out their own little place in sort of obscure, strange legal theory. Will make it into the books, folks. So, you know, the legal scholars and budding lawyers and legal school students will have to read forever and ever about how the robotic arm emoji came to mean listen to Canary Cry News Talk.
Very good. Well, that's a really good one. Sorry, I know I don't usually interrupt, but there is an interesting sort of philosophical or legal argument between, hey, if you're using an emoji as a robot arm emoji as a human, it's kind of ironic. But then the other side of the argument could be because you're using the technology, it's signaling the cyborg part of you anyway. You know, emojis themselves are sort of evolution in language, and so therefore you are cybernetic. So forever in court, man. There you go.
Take that, legal scholars. Take that.
Which one is it? Lawyers. Okay.
All right. Yeah, so that's a great way to share the show. You don't have to if you don't want, but I suggest you do. But we call it rattling cages, and all you got to do is walk right up to them, grab them by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gons, any last words?
And that Ultra clip is just becoming, or Ultron, sorry, not Ultra. Ultron clip from the movie that we always play at the end of the show. It's when are we going to have Ultron at the UN AI Council for Good?
Sooner than you'd think.
They're already sounding like Ultron in a sense. Maybe even
We've
worse.
called it again. We've called it again, folks. All right. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Crowd News Talk. We're going to be back on Friday. Yeah. Until then, think outside the cage. Beep, boop, bop. It will kill.
We will hunt you down and make you pay.
They love killing.
This is the United States of America, for God's sake. This is not about freedom or personal choice.
You do not know what you are talking about. Data. Science is truth.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
4, 3, 2.
There were many, who would have been outside Freemasonry and just sort of in Enlightenment discourse that would have looked at America as the new Atlantis. Again, this is the new utopia. We come here to get away from monarchy, to get away from the social ills that we see in Europe. And we get to basically start over. And we get to reimagine what communal life should be, what the ideal state would be. And, when Bacon writes New Atlantis about this imaginary place somewhere else, outside of Europe, that people go to and really start this thing called civilization over again. When people, when America's discovered, of course, by Bacon's time it was known, but when people start to migrate in serious numbers to North America, this is what they're thinking. This is the new Atlantis. This is the great country, the wonderful country where we get to actually conduct these experiments, reimagining what life should be like, what the state should be like. An imaginary world where social justice is achieved, whatever that means. The Enlightenment contributes a lot to, again, a utopian thinking. The Enlightenment, of course, terribly important. Again, the age and elevation of reason, human reason. Well, if you're in Europe, and again, you've been living with centuries of monarchy, and you don't like aristocracy, and you see all the abuses there, the real, strict division of classes, economic states. And, you think, boy, we ought to be able to do this better. We ought to be able to think for ourselves, and we ought to have checks and balances in our government. We ought to have power divided among many, and all these political ideas we're familiar with that actually are sort of launched in the Enlightenment. Well, they launch movements. Of course, we have the American Revolution, which I have listed second here, but chronologically it preceded the French Revolution. The American Revolution was, a violent revolution, but as far as the transition of power and the establishment of power within the community, we had peaceful transitions, from presidency to presidency, and so on and so forth. This is why after Washington left office, people were really nervous. Is this actually going to work?
This is the new Atlantis.
actually gonna work.
An imaginary world where social justice is achieved, whatever that means.
Bye. I'm out of here. Bye.
Canary cried back support.